The book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, beginning at verse 1, and it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, Verse 4, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to William La Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Ercha, Kodash Bakatham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, teaching to rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. So brother, y'all, what's up out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So basically, I was searching for an article to do a lesson on, and sometimes I do them just through the Spirit, topics that I might be meditating on, or or whatnot. But I prefer to do articles because I try to, articles really bring out prophecy. And I saw one in regards to this, and it's just showing you how this is about to be. This devil about to come down with great wrath and violence. Scriptures talk about the Egyptian versus Egyptian. A place. I believe it's Mark chapter 3. If Satan be against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? So this is going into this article about the oath keeper, the leader of the oath keeper, Salaki, the leader or the head of the oath keepers, boss, guilty of sedition, and won the sixth case. So when I read that, I forgot where I first seen it at, but as the scripture popped up in my mind, in my spirit immediately, which is Second Ezra chapter 15, and I'm gonna begin at. Well, I could start up at 1, and I'm gonna skip, and it reads, "Behold, Second Ezra 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Meaning the prophecies are going to come to pass. The scriptures tell you that the Most High God is a man that He cannot lie. I'm gonna skip, and it's going into basically the Lord gonna judge this place for the wickedness. So when you go to verse 14, basically, it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." So woe meaning destruction, or I believe woe also goes in the morning. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, when you go into that oath keepers, basically from what I read, is basically you got these Edomites, and I'm sure it's probably some goofy ass Jake that's involved in it, but from what the most part, all the articles, everything I've seen, they're Edomites. These is true red, true blue blooded Americans that just believe in this way of life and the Constitution, and they don't feel that the other Edomites that's in positions of power that's actually selling this place out are handling the government or the country fairly. So they're called oath keepers because they believe to keep the Constitution and whatnot. So a lot of those so-called oath keepers were basically supposed to got caught up with that January 6th thing. And it's just making me think through the spirit how, you got this whole thing with, how they trying to come down with the truth. Anybody that's bucking up or going against their narrative is being basically separated and being basically labeled, what's the word, being labeled extremists. And they were considered extremists because basically it's supposed to be violence that erupted at the in Washington D.C., the capital. So it says, "For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." And the modern day sword is the gun. It reads, and this is the point, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. I did a quick word search, a quick Google search, and it reads sedition, conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. So basically, they're saying that, these individuals basically committed sedition against the government. And I believe in the past, sedition was onto pain of death, penalty onto death. But I think now they're talking about because I believe the individual who is the head of that organization name is Rhodes. I believe him and another co-conspirator are facing like 20 years or something like that. It says attorneys of Oath Keepers leaders Stuart Rhodes, James Lee Bright left, and Philip Linder arrive at the federal courthouse. Okay, so it reads, Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes was convicted Tuesday of sedition, conspiracy for a violent plot to overturn Democrat Joe Biden's presidential win, handing the Justice Department a major victory in its massive prosecution of the January 6, 2021 insurrection. A Washington, D.C. jury found Rhodes guilty of sedition after 3 days of deliberation in the nearly 2-month-long trial that showcased the far-right extremist group's efforts to keep Republican Donald Trump in the White House at all costs. And this shit is comical to a degree. I was listening to the elder when you go into the inauguration, and it's an augur basically going into like an indoctrination for the presidents to basically become like warlocks, or some a left-hand situation. It just amazes me because you got to remember, Donald Trump made a lot of statements that would basically, you'd have been like, well, how he incited it for real. You know what I mean? For what I call, when you call, he got them roused up. And then, the aftermath was, what these individuals did. So it's kind of comical that, the president, because that's why they was basically trying to take him to court and all that. So, this shit is a big farce because in the meanwhile, while it was going on, the company's spinning around the drain. They was talking about how you had the signs of those animals. You had all these different animals just walking around in circles. I mean, it's just not just was birds. It was all not just sheep, but it was all kind of animals. I forgot who did a video on it, but, and that's spiritual. Brother said literally like that means, because that's happening here. He said spiritually, that means this place is circling the drain, says the rarely used Civil War era charge calls for up to 20 years behind bars. That's the point I wanted. So that just made me think about how literally these people are about to come down with great wrath when you go into the book of Revelations, because they know they have but a short time. So they coming for everybody, not just, first and foremost is Jake. They want to keep, the Israelites in subjection to this, wicked ass system. They want you to break the covenant that you have with the Most High, your power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and basically make a covenant with this devil. You know what I mean? This is the book of Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell therein. Salaki. Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So not only, that's why they, like I said, they're basically categorizing, seeing who believes what and how does it affect your thoughts on the government. And you're going to have, like I said, that's why you got that red list, yellow list, blue list. You're going to have those that they feel that they can basically scare into subjection. You got those that they know that they're not going to be able to do anything with. That's just going to be put, you're going to have to hold on to your belief onto pain of death. And we're going to see how far you really truly believe what you call yourself believing. And that's what ultimately makes you a man anyway. When a child goes to fight in a war, you got child soldiers that are brainwashed, but for the most part, it's a statement that they say one country's one country's rebel, or better yet, it says one country's terrorist is another country's freedom fighter. So you have, children that watch the atrocities of certain countries, because, you Americans don't realize the things that go on in these other countries, how basically this government goes into these other lands and exploits, the natural resources. Say, for instance, all that time they was in the Middle East, and what happened? That's when you had this big ass opioid epidemic that came back, that actually hit Esau's generations, called Loyim, Layahal Bashim Yahusha. And that's just showing you how the Lord was truly switching that cup, because it talks about how Edom is going to drink the dregs of the cup. What we went through as a people, this devil's going to go through he going to go through twice as hard. And then you see how unfair it is, when Jacob was getting caught up in the crack era, how they got all that time, but then Esau, Edom, they get rehabs. But you got you stupid ass Jakes that want to continue to live in this society. The Kanye Kyrie situation, even the Nick Cannon situation should have shown you literally that this man doesn't play fair, and literally he's gonna always look at you as you're beneath him, and even if you are more talented, even if you are more powerful, he's going to try to put you in a situation. It is so many different circumstances, situations where you can come up with how this devil has stacked the odds against Jake. So, like I said, Salakia, because the point I'm trying to make is basically, with that being said, they coming after everybody that's not following the narrative of what the government believes. Because when you go into the word government, govern meaning to control, and meaning mental. So they want to control the people and control what you think. That guy Klaus Schwab said you gonna own nothing to be happy, and they want individuals that's gonna be slaves to a system like that. And then the thing is, they're willing to take care of you and give you a monthly stipend. In order, like, they gonna play the Most High God. It tells you in the scriptures that the Most High God provides your daily bread. This devil, just imagine a society like that where you can't do nothing. Everything is monitored. And they got a lot of freaky ass, weird ass movies that I grew up on, because I'm in my 40s, that I grew up watching, and I'm thinking like, well, no. But you see, literally, they've put this stuff in movies. They've been perpetuating this, that spirit of trying to bring forth this society for years, for decades, actually. So, I read second Ezra. So, the devil coming down with great wrath. I read how about the Egyptian gonna fight Egyptian. Well, I didn't read that. I quoted it. I'm gonna just get this and end it. Because again, we're coming into dark and dangerous times. The scriptures talk about in the book of I believe it's First Peter, where it talks about the end is nigh. You got scriptures talk about the days are evil. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse 14. And it reads, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. Because you had some of our peoples that's in this truth now that were asleep. The book of Romans chapter 13 talks about awake. It's high time to awake out of sleep. When you go into Ezekiel chapter 37, talk about the valley of the dry bones. And that's our people that was in a physically sleep state. But that show you how powerful the Most High is, using the individuals like Kanye and Kyrie, which both were K's. But best believe that actually woke a lot of people up. Now, mind you, gonna have a lot of 2/3 ass niggas in it. When you take time to think about, is Israel's as the sea, salt of the sea. If the sea got salt water, and it's salt in every glass of water or every drop of water, then that means Israel is everywhere around the four corners of the earth. But if 2/3 are going to be destroyed, which the book of Zechariah actually talks about that, Zechariah chapter 13, then literally, you're going to have most of our people that's going to reject that. And then when you look at the mindset of Jake anyway, you got niggas trying to hold on to something in a society where they're about to change everything. And telling you, this is a quote. This is their statement. This is their thought. They said, you won't own shit, but you're going to be happy anyway. But you worried about, being broke and woke. Like, man, that's why a nigga got to die. Back in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 14, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, Mashiach shall give thee light. And that light is this truth, which is the whole truth. The knowledge of self, the knowledge of your enemy, The knowledge of the, you know what I mean? Because it, like, just coming to knowing that you an Israelite, that's not, you know, I ain't gonna say that's nothing. That's, you know, it's way more to this thing that you know you an Israelite. Like, come on. I mean, being that you know you supposed to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, because by breaking the law, statutes, commandments is why we being punished in the first place. You know what I mean? So you people that call yourselves thinking that y'all awake, y'all might be aware, but y'all ain't awake. Your only your only defense and chance of not salvation, but escaping, because you know salvation is up to the Most High. You know that's why you have a elect. You know, and that's all throughout the scriptures. But then these devils will talk about everybody's gonna be saved, and once you come to Christ, you gonna be saved. No, that's a doctrine that it did to show you how this Christianity shit was pushed. They don't even believe in Christianity. You got people like the elder was talking about. I think it was Elder Yashua, but he was talking about you got like people like Vlad or that guy Noah Yuval Harari. That's the understudy of Klaus Schwab. These people claim that they're Jewish, right? So they're supposed to be the people of the book, but they don't even believe in the Most High. I mean, so it's like comical, and then people can't see it. That's how you know it's really spiritual. People are really asleep. But it tells you all eyes gonna see Yahweh Shah Hamashiach break them clouds. Verse 15, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. It tells you, the fool said in his heart that there is no Most High. It talks about the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. But fools hate of knowledge, for real. And the scriptures talk about in the book of Isaiah chapter 33 that wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times. What wisdom, what knowledge? The knowledge of these scriptures. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. We coming into evil days. Because like I said, I mean, if you can't see, if they going after best believe they're going to come after the true believers. We was just talking about that. You know what I mean? Esau want to be your hope. He taking hope. Come on, the brother Itazawal, the elder brother Itazawal from Men of Valor was just going into that. They talking about basically certain outlawed, certain scriptures are too outdated for today, and basically talk about bad in the Bible. Do you know how deep that is? Do you know how powerful that is? These people literally showing you how they don't believe. So how are these people the Most High? If you're so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Civil Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, commandments of your power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kodesh B'Katham, double honors to my apostles, the elders of great millstone who teach us to do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwath, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning, Lord willing, this is edified. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but who subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'm going to say shalom, shalom, shalom.